You gonna flex? Like, ooh.
No live show.
Yeah, ooh.
No.
You gotta perform later tonight, bro. I'm like, save your energy, girl. Save your energy. All right, so we are back with Jessica Ko. So that was your song just there. That's you, written, produced, sang, sung, everything. Tell us about it.
So the song is called 아저씨, 아저씨, 아저씨. For those who don't know, like 아저씨 means like middle-aged man in Korean. We don't have an English translation for it. So, I mean, like, it's just the age of your uncle. Like, no matter how old you are, for some reason that works.
It's just the uncle, like every time.
It's just an uncle. It doesn't mean uncle, it's
Real.
just a person that is the age of your uncle.
Okay, got you.
So ajashi is not like directly like a derogatory term. There's of course like a stigma around it because when men get to be like 28, 29, they're like, I'm ajashi. And I'm like,
Freaking
you're
out.
literally 4 years older than me. Stop.
Like, chill, relax.
I'm not gonna be an ajima tomorrow. No, thank you.
Valid.
But no, like it's generally like, you're considered. I think like there's some term. I'm not a boy, so I don't know. But like once you finish your military, you're an ajashi.
Okay.
But not really. Like I have a lot of friends that just say that.
Got you. So what's up with the song? Like, where did you come up with it? What's the story behind it?
There's like a lot of like stigma about like ajashi. I love them. Let me just start by saying I love ajashi. They drive my taxis. They drive my buses. They do my pedal delivery. They're doing other weird stuff.
They're doing everything.
They're great.
They're the ajashis.
Yeah, they're helping park cars, like 10 out of 10. Performance, absolutely great. There's actually a deficiency of ajashi in Korea.
Really?
Yeah, because people don't want to do like ajashi jobs.
That's terrible.
Like,
I didn't even know that there
buses.
were ajashi
Well,
jobs.
if you notice, like every time you get on a bus, it's always a middle-aged man, like an older man, right?
Right.
But have you ever seen a young person driving a bus? Because I haven't.
Wow.
And I've lived here for 7 years.
Okay, so yeah, then they probably definitely deficient.
I've had one friend that like texted our group chat and she was like, I just saw a 21-year-old driving a bus and we're
like, whoa, what do we do?
The world is ending.
Yeah, the world's changing. What's Gen Z up to these days?
Yeah, but it's like, that's kind of like the thing. I've never seen a young person drive a taxi. I've had in my entire life 2 female taxi drivers.
That's crazy.
Yep. So it's a lot of like, yeah, they fit a stereotype and they love it. And ajashi are also known for loving things like makgeolli, and which is a Korean rice wine, not sake. It's very different. Soju, that's a given. And we even have like ajashi food.
That's so tight.
So,
what's like 1 or 2 ajashi foods?
Dried like seafood.
Nice.
Like a dried fish or peanuts too.
Oh, okay.
But
they sound surly, like.
Yeah, I mean it's very like they're always like. Argh. They have their I called it the ajashi which if you put at the end of anything, it basically means like language. Gotcha. So I can't understand them because they always talk like they smoked 7 packs before they just had this conversation.
Had a pack of tarea or something.
Yeah, and they're always like doing like this like growl hiss thing. They're like. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, do your thing, I guess. So the song is about the ajashi.
Yeah.
Then. It's like an ode to them kind of thing.
Well, not really. It's actually diss track.
Okay.
I love them, so that's why I said I have to preface this by saying I love them. But
Gotcha.
there are the handful that are just really like, you're like, what are you doing, sir? Because they just, and I told you before, like, I get stared at. I used to get stared at a lot. Not anymore. Even older people, and I live in an area where at this point it's like 50-50 foreigner Korean because of it's surrounded by 3 different universities. So I'll just give you an example with a story of why I'm saying this. I went to a wine bar to go like work on my laptop by myself, and in front of me there was a table with an ajashi sitting furthest away, and then his assumably wife with her back face to me. And he kept like looking at me weird the entire time I was there. I was there for maybe 45 minutes.
That's a long time for someone to be looking weird at you.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, just like a glance here and there. And I was like, okay, he's just being weird, whatever. And then I walked past him, and so I was the wife, he would be like where you're sitting, right? And I was walking past, and I had a skirt, like a shorter skirt on, but nothing like crazy. And as I walked past, he did the full like 360. And now I like just turned
Uncomfortable.
around and looked at him. I was like, sir, like what?
Like, bro, your wife's right there.
Yeah, like bro.
Chill.
So it's kind of like that thing, because sometimes, especially when they're drinking, they do some questionable things. I've also had a situation where I went out to eat with like a friend of mine, and we both speak Korean, and the table of ajashi next to us were very drunk. And one of them had said to the other, like, hey, go take off your wedding ring and go try to pick up those like Russian girls over there. And I'm like, I'm American.
So weird. That's so like,
yeah.
that's crazy.
So
this is a diss track aimed at those people.
Those
Then.
specific
Yeah, the
ones.
uncomfortable ajashi kind of thing.
So the main lyrics of the song are like ajashi, 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 Hongdae makgeolli ajashi. So Hongdae in Hongdae, this is not also at the ajashi or the makgeolli ajashi. There is what's known as the makgeolli man.
Right.
And it's this old man. He's like a legend. He's like Santa Claus, but
Oh, but for makgeolli kind of thing.
yeah. So
Yeah.
he carries around like this big cart. I don't know if he carries it this way or forward, but anyways, he has a big cart,
Right.
and it's just full of bottles of makgeolli, and you can just give him cash and he'll give you one like on the street.
Nice.
It's like I said, it's like Santa Claus.
Right,
except
yeah.
You pay for it. But anyways.
Chill if he's delivering makgeolli, right? Like,
It's just like I've seen him one time.
Nice,
So
nice.
it was a moment for me.
gotcha.
But he is the Hongdae like makgeolli ajashi.
Okay.
But this is not aimed at him. Anyways, it's also aimed like towards the ajashi. I'm saying ajashi. This is why like my phone case is just a bunch of ajashi.
I like that though. Promote.
So there's also like the ones that get drunk off makgeolli and then they go do questionable things. So why do you always look at me like that? Maybe get a new hobby. That's the lyrics. And then yeah.
Do you have any like inspirations behind your like music? Like any artists you were inspired by, like events kind of thing?
Like anybody who knows me knows I absolutely love DPR, like DPR live.
That's
DPR.
so
Yay!
valid. That's so valid. I like that.
I'm so glad you do too.
Of course.
I love DPR live. I love DPR Ian, DPR Cream too.
Right.
I like started listening to DPR live like back when I was like 17 or something, but not like closely.
Yeah.
Just like it was on my playlist, right? Like Martini Blue, let's go.
Right. Yeah. Turn
Who
on.
doesn't love a hype song like that?
Exactly.
And then one day I got on my recommended to listen to like DPR Ian, and I was like, this is groovy. I like this.
Bumps, bro. This Venus track right here going crazy a little bit. Like,
And so I got more into them more. And then it got to the point where I was like, I'm obsessed with this music. And like I really like how like their working style is, because like from what I know, like DPR Live pretty much runs everything. Like he's kind of the head of everything, and I was like, I feel it.
yeah, like I can relate.
And they like at least Ian came from like he came from a company and like took a step back and then ended up doing his own thing, and I really like respect that.
Right.
And they like came from nothing, and now they're like really quite famous. Not as famous in Korea actually.
Really?
It's
50-50 kind
yeah.
of thing? Okay. I see.
and it's kind of like a niche thing.
Gotcha.
I went to their like one of their shows last year, and I was like, okay, this is how I need to like change things in my performances. Not that it's on the same scale by any means, but still I can see. And it was really interesting because they actually had problems that I have.
Really?
Which is in Korea, when it's changing now, but traditionally, like if you go to a concert, you're kind of just sitting or standing, whichever one you're doing. But you're not really like, yeah, wow,
No
hands in the
reaction.
air, waving like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the polite trait that we all carry.
Gotcha.
And they had performed 2 nights in a row, Saturday and Sunday, and they had just, like, it was the last day of their world tour. And they had even mentioned at the show, they were like, guys, you have to have more energy. People yesterday were so much more energetic. But I think also people are shy.
Right.
But I was like, okay, I get that, because that's one of the same issues I have in my own shows.
Gotcha. So you can empathize with them really easily. Like
It was
you
nice
see.
to know, too. It's not just, it happens to everyone.
Gotcha. Seriously. Or do you have any other inspirations, or is it just like?
I mean, I have like a lot of artists I like. I really love Korean hip hop.
Nice.
Also love Billie Eilish.
As you should. Come on,
Yes,
bro. Who's the
of
bad
course.
guy kind of thing? Do you apply that same like lyricism and storytelling to all of your music kind of thing, or is it like?
90% of it is I think my best songs are like storytelling.
Gotcha.
Actually,
gotcha.
my best songs are just diss tracks.
I like that though. No, that's real. That's real.
I also came out like recently with a song called Fighter. There wasn't really a story in that. It was more just like going off a topic and a theme. So it's really like I do both. I think my best rap is when I'm angry.
Okay.
So I have
gotcha.
another song called Obsessed from my last album, and it's probably one of my favorite songs of mine. And
Obsessed.
yeah.
That's with the drill beat, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't produce that, by the way.
Okay,
My producer
gotcha.
did, but
Gotcha.
it's really angry, and I think it's one of the best raps I've ever written.
Nice. So it's all about like emotion for you. Well, what kind of, if I can ask this, what kind of gets you angry? What gets you in that position?
I mean, I always tell, like, especially my students, they're like, "Teacher, are you angry?" And they try to make me angry because I tell them, I'm like, I'm never angry.
Right.
I'm always happy, which is true.
That's valid.
I can be happy and angry at the same time.
As you can, yeah. No, things can exist in harmony.
But yeah, like I think like things that annoy me, like people that don't set boundaries and don't have respect for others and just do whatever they want.
Gotcha.
So like for example with Obsessed, that's a diss track towards like simps.
Yeah, nah, simps.
The ones that like overstep, that like they expect me, like a person that has never met them, that just like will occasionally answer their comment or something.
Right.
I get like all these messages saying like, "Oh, you're such a bad person because you never meet me," and I'm like, I don't know who you are. What is your name?
Yeah, how can I meet you kind of thing. Like,
and even if I wanted to, like sometimes I get messages saying like, "Why don't you ever hang out with me? Like you're always out drinking with your friends," and I'm like, "No, I'm at a show. There's just alcohol there."
yeah, what can I do kind of thing. So tell me about like, would you have any advice for other artists who want to kind of come to Korea and do this kind of thing that you're doing? Because obviously you're kind of killing it, like girl.
Oh, thank you. I got in at a lucky time, not gonna lie. So in this industry right now, learn Korean.
Learn Korean.
Learn Korean.
That's the biggest thing.
Learn Korean. You're never gonna get anywhere because, and I don't mean to be negative, but the amount of meetings I have, because our hip hop team is maybe 75% Korean and 25% foreigners.
Right.
And among those foreigners, I am the only one that speaks not fluent, but enough Korean, like substantial Korean.
Right.
The rest of my crew, maybe 25% of the Koreans know English well enough to have a conversation.
So you're the bridge then?
I have
almost.
to bridge 50 people.
What's that like? That sounds so stressful and so overwhelming for you.
Imagine a team of 10 people at a pocha and you have the white girl in the back ordering.
Oh my god.
When there's Koreans there.
And it's like everybody talking at once, like you're like, okay, what do I, right? You want this,
My
like.
brain feels like it's like splitting, like you're tearing like a burger apart. That's my brain.
That's terrifying. So learn Korean. Gotcha.
Learn Korean, yeah, and like I said too, that's really important because I have a lot of like meetings with performance venue managers and owners, and the last 3 I've had have been fluent, like not fluent, all Korean.
Gotcha. Was there anything that was like challenging for you to get a grasp of when you came here, especially because I'm sure it wasn't immediate, like I know Korean right away, or like I'm pretty substantial
the
with it.
hardest thing is double consonants.
Double consonants.
Like for example, the word for strawberry is talgi, but if you just say talgi, it's a very different word. So
what is talgi?
Talgi is strawberry. I don't know what talgi is.
Okay, gotcha. It's just a different thing entirely.
I don't know if it's even a word, but it's just like like you're not even saying the same thing.
Gotcha. Well, what about like practices? Like
the best thing I can advise if you want to learn Korean, at least for double consonants, I've learned that you just have to imagine you're punching somebody every time you say a double consonant.
Okay.
It works really well in my head.
That's valid. Okay, so we'll keep it. Hey, teaching tips with a teacher kind of thing. You know, that's more than anything.
There has been times where my students don't speak Korean or English. I taught a Korean student Korean.
Really?
Yeah, because he couldn't.
That is
because he was born in Hawaii, so he couldn't. Yeah.
That's understandable. Gotcha.
Anyways, in terms of practicing, like just make friends. Don't let them speak English to you all the time. Like at least try. The one thing about like foreigners that do live in Korea, where actually my biggest pet peeve, I will lose all respect for you, is if you walk up to like a Starbucks worker and just order in like English flat out.
Yeah.
And I understand like if you don't know those words, but at least try.
Yeah.
Because at Starbucks you need 2 words. the Italian on the board and the Korean for give it to me. Seo.
Yeah, come on,
That's all
bro.
you need to try.
Like, that's it. The grande part should be easy, too. Like, come on, there's Starbucks everywhere kind of thing.
Yeah.
Are there any, like, lifestyle tips that you would recommend to anyone wanting to come to the U.S. or to come to Korea?
Definitely just be adaptive.
Gotcha.
Just accept that this isn't your country, and people were born and like raised with different expectations, and don't try to like assume, like don't pretend this is your country, because it's not, and you're gonna have a much more comfortable time. And then don't be like intimidated by things. And if somebody is intimidating, just let it go. Like sometimes there's situations, for example, the other day I had like konggoksu with my friend, and it was his first time trying konggoksu.
Gotcha.
He was born in Russia, but he's Korean.
Okay.
But he doesn't speak Korean.
Okay.
So it was one of those like the most traditional, like sitting on the floor, and then like the ajashi that cooked our meal was sitting in the corner like watching baseball. Like it was his house.
Just in the TV.
And I was like, yep, this feels right.
Right. But for him, it must have been.
But the ajashi saw, like, because with konggoksu, if you don't know, this is like cold noodles with basically like a soy milk broth, like a thick soy milk broth. And it's eaten in summer because it's like refreshing, very shiwane, refreshing.
Yeah.
And, but it's meant to be bland. So that your body isn't overwhelmed and starts sweating more with spices.
Of course.
So you add one of two things, one or both of two things. You can add salt or you can add sugar, and that's it.
Gotcha.
But there was also pepper, like sonhunchu, pepper, black pepper on the table. And my friend went to start putting it in the konggoksu, and the ajashi was like, no.
Right.
He was like,
that's gonna burn your mouth.
Like,
chill.
what are you doing?
What are you doing? Don't mess it up.
And then my friend was so like,
like he was, poor boy.
But I had to explain, like, he's never had konggoksu before.
That's real. So be adaptive, open-minded
try
kind
new
of
things,
thing.
like places like that. I don't think usually foreigners would go to, because like it's kind of strange to sit on the floor.
Right.
Or you feel like you just walked into like your grandparents' house, or the smell is like strong because I think they like made their own kimchi. But
oh, that's fire though.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
But you could smell it. And a lot of people will get turned off by that.
Yeah.
And also, if you're vegetarian or vegan, I'm sorry, but you have two options. Friends and, no meat or no friends. You can choose.
You get to pick. You get a third of Korean food probably off the table, huh?
I mean, it's just how it is, because eating here is a very, like, social thing.
Right.
And when we go out to eat, it's not like, at least in America, you usually have your food and their food, and you don't share it.
Gotcha.
Some people do. I don't know. It depends on the person, but traditionally you don't share it. It's your food.
Right.
Here, if you're going out to eat, I don't care what you just ordered. I'm eating it.
Yeah, you better have some. We share it. We a whole team right now, kind of thing.
So that's something people have to get used to, and you have to get used to like sometimes my chopstick is gonna touch where your chopsticks touch.
Right.
So you have to get used to like germ sharing.
No, that's just so social eating, adaptivity. Is there anything like round us off with a third thing? Like one more thing that people could really gain or really value from moving here or from trying to travel here?
Okay, let me think about this.
It's a toughie.
It is. Oh, don't get in trouble here.
Don't get in trouble here.
Yeah.
Word.
Because Korea will deport you.
Behave.
I know somebody who drove without having their license here, and he got sent back to Russia for 5 years.
5 years?
Can't come back into Korea.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So no deviance at all, kind of thing. Like
Yes. Sorry, I thought of one more.
What's up now? Give us another.
Okay, last one. If you drink, any American that I've ever watched drink soju for the first time will tell me it's not strong. It's strong. It just didn't hit you yet, and you're drinking the fruit ones. So don't make a mistake like my brother, and don't pass out in a bush.
Oh!
On his first night here.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. On that note, give us something to wrap up. Like plug something. You know, you're an artist. Plug a song. Plug a merchandise. Plug a food. I don't know.
Sure. Basically, okay, I'll just promote myself. Is that okay?
Yes, girl. Anything you want to promote.
Okay. Okay, so I'm coming out with new music soon. No release date set because I'm busy, but
There we go.
I just released 2 songs, 아저씨, 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 and also Fighter, featuring The Wizard, produced by The Wizard, and featuring J.O. So you can find them on Spotify, Melon, YouTube Music, Apple Music, and like Pandora, all that random stuff. Deezer, blah, blah. I don't even know if Deezer's on, but it just keeps going.
These might be underground now, kind of thing.
I don't know, but anyways, you can find it anywhere. Just search my name, Jessica Ko. It's Jessica, normally spelled, and then K-O. Not knockout. It's my real last name is Ko.
Real. And you got an Instagram to follow too?
Yes, my Instagram is 0.25 kimchi. It's 0.25 kimchi.
There we go. There we
Yeah,
go. And
you
with
can-
that, bless. Thank you.